See, the thing that I don't get about these dudes and these people in general that tell you to keep approaching, to keep pursuing, to keep trying, the thing that I don't understand is just like where do you pull the motivation from all these negative experiences? I just don't understand it. I can't process where you're supposed to get motivation to pursue this group of people when all they've given you is negative experiences. These same negative experiences that made you feel bad about yourself. These same negative experiences that brought physical pain, like literally giving you headaches, sexual frustration, just being irritated, being just being broken. All these negative experiences, and for some reason, some way, you're supposed to just pull motivation from just out of your ass and just be able to approach another 100 and keep going to the gym and keep doing all these things, man. It doesn't add up to me, man. I want to just say this, man. I watch He to Succeed's videos a lot, very relatable, and the comment section is obviously, majority of them, we're agreeing. We can understand where he's coming from. Then you just have the people that just throw out these same platitudes that never really worked. You know what I mean? Or just platitudes that are just things people say that we know is not really going to change the situation. You got to lose weight. You got to keep trying different things. You got to read this book. You got to see what it is, man. You got to quit caring. Once you quit caring, it sends a message out to the universe that you're not needy. And like, man, it's fucking bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit. And I just want to make this clear for the record, because people want to know exactly how I feel about people who give out advice as far as you need to improve yourself, or a female, whatever. My whole thing is that, like I said before on my Looks Maxim video, if you feel you need to improve yourself, you can improve yourself. I'm not against self-improvement. I'm not against that. But my issue comes when dudes are coming on my videos, and they're coming on other dudes' videos, and they're telling us that we need to improve ourselves. Basically, it's not just about improving ourselves. They're basically saying you're not good enough for these women, so you need to work on the things that they like, and you know what I mean, then you'll be able to get a woman. See, my issue with that is you might as well just call yourself a male feminist. You might as well call yourself a male feminist. If you see any guy that's commenting talking about you need to improve yourself for this, women don't like this, women don't like that, and they never talk about how women don't improve themselves, they never talk about the negatives of what they do, they always bringing down the male, that means they're a male feminist. I don't want to hear nothing that they have to say. That's why I can't listen to Lucario no more. I can't listen to you know what I mean? I can't listen to Coach Corey Wayne and nobody else, because all these dudes are male feminists. All these dudes work on the same premise. Look, you have to do this, you have to do that. These females, look, beggars can't be choosers, so we can't put them to no standard, because they have a vagina. So we're not going to put them on no standard. So with that being said, you're just not good enough. If you can't get nobody, or your experiences are negative, then you're just the problem. And people like that, I avoid 100%. I do not deal with male feminists. And the reason I say they're male feminists is because you gotta listen to the way feminists talk. And that's pretty much the equivalent of what the fuck they say. You know what I mean? Feminists don't think that they have to improve themselves. Feminists don't think that they have to stick to any rules or whatever the fuck. They break the rules. They make their own rules. Look at this Me Too shit. They want to make their own rules about how dudes have to conduct themselves towards women. They're the one, they making rules, and they don't even have to change shit about themselves. Look at us on the other hand. We have to change every single thing about ourselves. Oh, I understand you look like this, whatever. Try and lose a little bit more weight. You know, girls don't really like when you look like this. I understand you don't have that much money, but you need to figure out some way how you can get your hands on a master degree, because females don't like when you don't have money. Which I can understand all these different things. I'm like I said, I'm not saying you don't improve yourself. You shouldn't work on yourself. But what I'm saying is that when you have a dynamic where one group of people have to improve, and the other group of people, they don't have to improve, or they get rewarded in abundance for just being who they are, they don't have to improve nothing, this shit is fucked up. That's when shit is not right. And for the dudes that keep pushing this narrative, you are male feminists. You are male feminists, man. That's all I wanted to say about that. But really what I wanted to say is that, you know, if you have all these negative experiences, man, where are you supposed to pull the motivation to keep trying? You know what I mean? I've watched this video. This dude said if you've been rejected 100 times, you're gonna get rejected 1,000 times more, and I totally agree with that. So knowing that fact, where is my motivation supposed to come from? In knowing that me approaching 100 females, I'm probably gonna get rejected 1,000 more times. I'm probably gonna get flaked on 1,000 more times. I'm probably gonna be ignored 1,000 more times. I'm probably gonna be treated like a peasant 1,000 more times. So where am I supposed to get this motivation? You know what I mean? You know, it really like I'm thinking about all these videos and all these dudes that I see on social media, and they're talking about, you know what I mean? I don't like pursuing females, and I don't like approaching females, and I leave females alone, and I don't know if I want to have kids anymore with a female, and these females give me a headache and all this shit. It's just like, you know what I mean? But like, I can understand, because normally dudes talk about shit like that, but the amount, how am I trying to put this? What I'm trying to say is that obviously there's negative experiences here and there when it comes to female. That's kind of normal. But I think the amount of times, and just the I think just the amount of times that dudes are constantly talking about their negative experiences with women, I think that's a fucking problem. You know what I mean? When there's dudes always on Facebook, I see on my Facebook, and they're constantly talking about, man, females get on my nerves, man. Females aren't loyal. Females don't always playing games. They're flaking. They don't act the way I want them to act, or the way they should act. It's like, damn, it's like, I can understand if they're talking about it like once every other time in the month, but when they're constantly talking about this shit every day, obviously there's some problem in their life, and they don't really want to admit it because they have sexual false consciousness. They want to make it seem like everything's okay, but they talk about it in a way to where it's like, okay, everything's still fine, but I'm still getting irritated. You know what I mean? So it's like damn, man. All this negative reinforcement around you, and it's like, okay, I know I'm not by myself when I talk about me dealing with this situation and me dealing with this situation. It's like, damn, like, if I'm the one that's supposed to be doing all this improvement and all this you know what I mean, all this work on myself, and if I'm the one that's supposed to be doing all this, why is it all these different issues and all these different complaints about the other side that's not supposed to be improving themselves? You know what I mean? That's the part that really throws me for a loop, because like I said before, you cannot have a dynamic where one group of people are supposed to do all this improvement and the other side could just sit on their ass and have all this abundance. It doesn't work like that. It shouldn't work like this. You know what I mean? And if you're a dude out there and you said, you know what, I was trying to lose weight, but you know, I had so many negative experiences with women, so I kind of lost my motivation, whatever. I can't really blame you. Even though you should improve yourself for yourself, I can't blame you if you've had so much negative experiences to the point where you just lost your motivation. If you're a dude who said, you know what, I wanted to go to um this particular college, and I wanted to get this degree because I wanted to get this certain amount of money for women or whatever, but they've given me negative experiences. I can't blame you for that. What's the point of you getting all this damn money for the same group of people that don't really care about you? They just really care about your money, or when you get your money. So it's like, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Negative experiences do not give you motivation. Negative experiences do not give you motivation to pursue women. Negative motivation does not give you the motivation to improve yourself for women. I don't know where you're supposed to pull this, like Alpha Male Strategy says. I don't know where you're supposed to pull this confidence and this motivation from. I don't know where you're supposed to pull it from when all your experiences are bad. I don't get it. I don't understand. You know. And I was watching this one dude's video yesterday. I think his name's Reformed something. I can't think of it off the top of my head. And I'm listening to what he was saying about, like it was just so relatable what he was saying, like, oh, I went through this and I went through that and all the shit he was talking about. And I was thinking to myself, like, I stepped away from the video and I went and did something else, and I was thinking to myself, like, what if the black pill was the red pill? And what if the red pill, the red pill we think about, what if the red pill was the blue pill? Like, what if the black pill, like the shit that we mainly talk about, like, look, okay, like, if we don't look like this, it's over. If you've approached this many people and you haven't gotten, then it's over. You know what I mean? And then you look at the red pill side, which is saying, oh, if you improve yourself, then they'll come knocking at your door. And if you think positive, then you'll get positive. That's kind of blue pill when you think about it, man. Like, really think about it, though. The average red pillar is saying that you could improve yourself by developing some personality or doing some pickup lines or strategies and shit like that, and from that point on, you're going to be able to convince people or women to like you. The black pill side, which is really the logical side, is saying, look, you can't convince people to like you. You can't force this person to change their perspective of you. You might have to do some dramatic shit to get them to change their perspective of you, but for the most part, you can't really force somebody to do or to like what they don't like. That's the black pill. So now that I think about it right now, I think the black pill is the right pill, man. That's some crazy shit to say. I never thought I'd say some shit like this, but I think the black pill is the right pill, man. I think the black pill is the right pill, because when you look at it at its core, it's just logical. Logically speaking, if you've been rejected by this one female, no amount of self-improvement is going to do a 360 and just make her change her mind. Like I said, it has to be something drastic. Money, status, looks, like something very drastic. You know what I mean? And it just seems like the logical pill, instead of hearing all these platitudes about if you approach 100 more, you'll get somebody. And if you read this book and you pay for this course, pay for this dating course for $60 and shit. It just sounds way more logical than this. It sounds way more logical than the average red pill bullshit that's constantly being shoved down our fucking throat, But that's all I wanted to say, man. I just don't see how you can have all these piled up negative experiences and people expect you to pull the motivation to improve yourself out of just, I don't know, out of thin air or something. I don't get it. And at the same time, you're improving yourself for people that don't have to improve yourself. If you're a person who you feel if you feel you're a 5 or a 6, you're improving yourself so you can get a 4 or a 3. That's basically what you're doing. Because you can't get people on your looks max. You can't get people that's on your level. They want people that's better than you. Females view their looks max, unless they're like an 8 or 9 or 7, whatever. They view their looks max as just a peasant. They're gonna go through all the top picks until they have to settle. Once they settle, it's kind of like, okay, whatever. But for the most part, they view their looks maxes as peasants. So that's another reason why I don't approach, because they just look at majority of the dudes that try and talk to them as peasants, unless they have something that really suits their type or whatever. But, like I said, but I think that's all I really had to say, man. Something to think about, man. If what I mean, you can't blame yourself for, you can't really beat yourself up if, you don't want to work out, if you don't want to really get that super high paying job, you don't want to get that brand new car. Like I've said before, you do all your self improvement subconsciously, on a subconscious level. I'm not talking on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, you're improving yourself for women, whether you want to believe it or not. But if you've been trying to improve yourself, and you're still getting constant negative reinforcement, your body's gonna make a switch, your brain's gonna make a switch, and it's gonna say, why am I improving myself for this group of people if this group of people doesn't value me? They don't care about me. They view me as a peasant. So with that being said, there's nothing to really feel bad about, man, as far as, you know not improving yourself, honestly.